Hello and welcome to another episode of the Warhammer 40k Rulebook series. It's basically a book review on all the past rulebooks. Now, this is currently the edition that we are using. It is 7th edition, but 8th edition will be coming out, I reckon, according to rumours, maybe about a month's time. So I thought I'd do a book review of the current rulebook that we using in the past. This rulebook was released in 2014 and yeah, it's been a very good rulebook. I'm going to go through the rules and the changes compared to past editions, and I'm really looking forward to this because it gives me memories as to how the rules work and how the game has developed ever since. So I hope you enjoy this video. Sit back and relax. Grab yourself a nice cup of tea, have a nice dinner as we watch this book review. I hope you enjoy this video and stay tuned. As you can see here, this rulebook is absolutely ginormous and it's actually pretty heavy. Now, if there is a gargantuan rulebook you're looking at, it's absolutely humongous. But the presentation is gorgeous. It is really nice, in my opinion. It's kind of like the layout of 2nd edition. If you looked at my previous episode on the 2nd edition rulebook review, it's actually got 3 rulebooks in one. It's got more like the lore and that kind of thing, but this is slightly different. It's got the core rule set, you can see here. It's got the rule set there. The Galaxy of War, which is probably like showcasing the Games Workshop models, and you've got Dark Millennium, which is all about the 40k background and lore. So you can see here, it's a huge book. It's very, very good. Packed full of rules. That means lots of improvements compared to previous editions. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at first, if I can get it out, there you go. We're going to look at Dark Millennium first. There you go. That's what it looks like. Dark Millennium. We're going to open the book. Nice illustrations. Games Workshop are superb when it comes to illustrations. Really, really good. The 41st millennium. Go. The iconic picture there. Nice picture. Look at that. That looks like Khorne Demonkin against Ultramarines. The Imperium of Man. Here you go, just going through all the lore. The Imperial Hierarchy. So you've got the Inquisition, High Lords of Terror, Adeptus Ministorum, Adeptus Mechanicus, Adeptus Terra, Adeptus Astra Telepathica. Adeptus Astronomica, Adeptus Custodes, Adeptus Arabites, and Adeptus Administorum. There you go. Again, a beautiful illustration there of the Imperial Guard with the priests and the Astra Militarum. And you've got the Space Marines, or the Adeptus Astartes, the Offico of Administorum, Imperial Fleet, Nevis Nebulite, Planetary Governors, and Rogue Traders. Look at that illustration. Superb. Here you go. Empire Among the Stars. Loads of lore. Voyages through the Intermittent. Worlds of the Imperium. Forge Worlds. Death Worlds. Amazing, amazing illustrations. Games Workshop are superb when it comes to this. Look at that. Incredible. And you got the iconic picture of what the Imperium is fighting for. Yes, it is the Emperor. He's fought against Horus. There you go. Superb. The Ages of Mankind. There's the Emperor himself. There. Age of the Imperium, millennium 30 and present. Time of the ending, 744 millennium 41 present. Gives you all the background and the history of major campaigns and huge battles that took place in the Segmentum Solar, which is the Imperial Galaxy, the 40k galaxy. There you go, Imperius Dominatus. So there you go. Look at that map. There you go, that's Tyranids against Dark Angels. Forces of the Imperium. Founding chapters gives you all the history of the Ultramarines and Space Marines in particular. Different chapters. Mine's the 13th Legion. My Primarch is Robote Gilliman. There you are, the Ultramarines, that's what I collect. Salamanders, Raven Guard, White Scars, Iron Hands. There's no chapter I don't really like. I love all chapters in their unique colour schemes, which is cool. Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Grey Knights, Imperial Fists, and Space Wolves. Here we go. Got the Astra Militarum, the Imperial Guard, Hammer of the Emperor, Weapons of War. There we go, new faction in this rulebook, the Imperial Knights. Yes, I will be collecting this faction here, the House of Taran. Planning to get 3 knights. That knight there, I'll have to get because that's lore-based for the Ultramarines. One of the knights was loyal to the Ultramarines chapter, so I have to paint that knight. I think it's a knight errant. Looks pretty cool. These are Sisters of Battle. I hope they do them in plastic. They've done like Celestine and the 2 Geminis in plastic, so they may be doing them in plastic like the whole army eventually. Let's hope they do so. Here we go. Got the Force of Chaos, it looks like. Abaddon the Despoiler. Oh, I don't like Abaddon now because spoiler alert if you don't want to hear this, but one of my characters died, and that was Colour Sergeant Kill. Abaddon snapped his neck. He died. Dear me. There we go. Chaos. The Forces of Chaos. Commander Azrael. The Dark Angels, these are the Grey Knights. There we go. Again, the layout is superb in this, beautifully laid out. There we go, look at that. Dark Angels against Chaos, which I think they are Black Legion. Yeah, they're Black Legion, looks like. The Deathwing Terminators. The Alien Menace. These are the Tyranids. Then you've got Orcs. There you go, you've got the Orcs here, Orcs faction. The Green Skins. Wah. Gurk. The Eldar. I think that is Gut Face Ripper, War Boss. It's interesting. That's the Eldar. Oh, the Eldar. Full of cheese. Beautifully sculpted army though. And then you've got the Dark Eldar. Again, superbly sculpted. Much improved through previous editions. There they are. You've got the Eldar fighting against Orcs. And then you've got the Necrons. There they are. Then you've got the Space Marines. The Ultramarines against the Necrons. They really do not like each other. Then you've got the Tau. An interesting fact, if you want to know what the word Tau is, the word Tau is a letter in the Hebrew alphabet found in the Bible. The word Tau. If you look at Psalm 119, that's where that name comes from. Tau. There we go. Tyranids. And the Hive Mind. There you go. Chaos. The greatest threat, and they are the greatest threat at the moment. as the story progresses, the forces of chaos. Now you got chaos demons. You got Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Slaanesh. Chaos Space Marines. Black Legion, the Emperor's Children, Death Guard, Word Bearers, World Eaters, and the Thousand Sons. Chaos Resurgent. That's where they did their major attacks. Yeah, Cadia's been overrun. I think it's turned into a Necron tomb world. Now, as the story progressed, the enemies within the gathering dark millennium. Loads of lore. It's fantastic. If you love lore, this is the book for you. So there you go. That's the quick review of what you get in as part of the 40k rulebook. It's the Dark Millennium, and now we're going to look at the next section, which is called A Galaxy of War. Okay, this is the second section, second part of this rulebook review. It is A Galaxy of War. Now, I presume this is going to be showcases of all the Games Workshop miniatures. There we go. We turn through A Galaxy of War. Here we go. Yeah, it's all the models that you get as part of the 40k hobby. There you go. Excellent. Cool colour schemes for the town. And then you've got the Ultramarines, the finest space marines that the Emperor has to offer. Ah, dear me. There you go, that's the basic layout of a standard army. So there you go, I've got one of them painted now. I'm painting at the moment a second Stormraven. It's going to be good fun to do. I've got him, Captain Ageman of the 1st Company of the Ultramarines. Venerable Dreadnought. It's actually interesting that they've super focused and made a bigger picture of a particular model. Just good. It's very good for detailing. If you want to have a painting reference, this is perfect for you. So there you go. Vanguard veterans. Sternguard. Well, actually, these are not Sternguard. These are the old lead veteran squads. These are basically Vanguard with no jump pack. Cool. Exploring the Legends. So there you go. You've got the basic codex, all the layout. You've got other codexes from other factions. Very nice. Then you've got, if you're interested, I do listen to some of these books whilst I do my painting. It's basically storybooks of like Primarchs, 30k, 40k, key battles, that type of thing. It's very good. I love listening to lore storylines online as I do my painting. There you go. That there, it looks like an Ultramarines company, battle company. So it gives you the layout. That's what I've got. I'm planning to do. Currently I've got 3 tactical squads. Got all the Predators painted. Razorbacks all painted. Dreadnoughts are pretty much painted. I've got Sicaris. I just need to get some Devastator squads done, and I need to get another Assault squad done. But then I've got the Spearhead of Sicaris to do as well, so it's 4 Assault squads of 10. And all drop pods as well. I've got all the vehicles. Just need time to paint them up. Lords of Carnage. There you go. Demons. Chaos Demons. These are Khorne. There you go. You've got Raptors. Skyblades. Chaos Terminators. Hellbrutes. Oh, look at that model. It's amazing. There we go. The Imperium's Might. I think that is the knight I plan to paint up, that colour scheme. House of Tehran. White Scars. Blood Angels. And you got Imperial Forces. Well, you can actually form allies in this. It's one of the big changes that Games Workshop have done in this edition. So there you go. Superb. Blood Angels. Citadel paints. Citadel paints are very, very good. if you want, obviously, if you want to do Games Workshop models, they have all the colours, right colours for them. Excellent. So there goes the showcase of Imperial Fists, nicely painted. And look at this. Talk about Apocalypse. Unleash the Apocalypse. So it's Tyranids against Eldar, absolute classic. And then you've got the Imperial Guard. You've got a Reaver Titan in the background there. You've got campaign books, which is cool. I've got Demnos, that book there, which is superb. And there you go. That looks like Dark Angels against Chaos. Ultramarines against Necrons. The Imperium. There you go. Marnus Calgar, who is Chapter Master, but now he's been demoted to a Warden. Basically the same stat, same ranking, but Robert Gelliman is officially back, and he is in charge of the Ultramarines chapter, and at the moment he's in charge of the Imperium. According to the rankings, he is the Lord Commander of the Imperium, so he is a he's the highest ranking character at the moment. The next rank up would be Rogel, I think it's Rogel Dawn of the Imperial Fists. So there you go. The Ultramarines there. Ultramarines Land Raider. I've got that librarian, just yet to paint him. Again, you can closer zoom up with all the details there. Blood Angels. Superb. Very, very good. These paintings are absolutely amazing, absolutely superb. As compared to the earlier editions, you just have to laugh. I mean, look at that sword effect. Grey Knights. Fantastic colour schemes. They really have done their homework, Games Workshop, throughout the years. There you go. Cannons. I'm so upset that he died. I mean, even Creed almost died as well. He was rescued, but he's dead according to the storyline, which is a shame. But I've got him. There's still going to be battle reports featuring Kel, so we'll do Fall of Cadia battle reports. Planning to do them. There we go. The Stormlord. If you haven't seen it on my channel, I do a tutorial on how to magnetize every option for that particular tank. There you go. Luke's got this Imperial Knight. He's got that colour scheme. Superb. There you go. And you got Sisters of Battle. Necrons. Xenos Threat. The Orcs. Death Dreads. Killer Cans. Eldar. Now you can get the Forge World version of the Avatar. That's the old Avatar. That's in lead. Eldar. There they are. Beautiful faction to look at though. They are really nice. Cheesy the way they play, but that's the whole point and fun of it. Look at that. Wraith Knight. Superb. Okay. There you got the Dark Eldar. She's nasty in close combat. Don't go near her, whatever you do. Necrons. Ooh, look at that. Look at these illustrations. They're so clever. The way they've done that effects in the Photoshop, it's absolutely superb. Tesseract Vault. We did an Apocalypse game with that. Hilarious. Commander Farsight, Hero of Vislia. Cool. Shadow Sun. The Riptide. Another huge model from Games Workshop. Tyranids. Again, beautifully sculpted army. And I think they just, when it was late 6th edition, they just released the plastic hive turret, and it looks really, really cool. Tyranids now look fantastic. I mean, plastic gargoyles now. Absolutely amazing. You've got the Trigon. I think that's, yeah, it's just a regular Trigon, not a Prime. Forces of Chaos. Abaddon. Ooh, we don't like Abaddon. Chaos against Dark Angels. That is an absolute classic lore-based game. There you go. Turn that over for you. Look at that. Absolute monster. Chaos Demons. And there you go. Let's give you a little advertising for Games Workshop, Warhammer World. I've been to Warhammer World a couple of times. I was featured on Warhammer TV as well. I played against Striking Scorpion 82, my brother, and it was such good fun. Full credit to Games Workshop, and thank you Games Workshop for inviting us. It was absolutely superb. Enjoyed every moment. So there you go. That there is the second part of this book review, Galaxy of War. Now we're going to look at the rules and how they have changed. Okay, this is the rules section of the Warhammer 40k Rulebook review for 7th edition. Here we go. The rules. There you go, gives you all the contents. This is pretty much the same as in 6th edition. Introduction, how to play the game, core rules. So here we go, we've been through this many a time, exactly the same stat lines. There you go. General principles, there you go, gives you the same example again, 3 inches, 8 inches, 5 inches. That is, I think that's exactly the same statement when dice on the floor, so I won't read that again. Then you've got cocked dice and things like that. It's no problem at all. Now, there's different size templates. There is the 5 in a large blast, 5 to 7 middle, 7 to 10 outer, 7 massive blast, and 10 apocalyptic blast. So these are the apocalyptic blast templates that you can get for Apocalypse games. But then the standard templates are still the 3 and the 5 inch blast. Okay, rules for scatter is exactly the same. Player, line of sight, yep, true line of sight, good example there. The same as 6th edition. Turn summary. Now, there is a difference now. So you've got start of your turn, resolve any rule described as happening at the start of your turn. Okay, so you've got movement phase, and then in this edition they've introduced a new phase called psychic phase, shooting phase, assault phase, and then the end. And so you progress till the next turn until the last turn, which is up to a potential of 7 turns. And then there's also a potential of only having 5 turns. Squad coherency, there you go, exactly the same. Incoherency, out coherency. Then you've got movement as well, so that tells you how to do the movement. Exactly the same. It's the same. Going up a building now. Unit coherency. Now, there's another thing they've changed here. Before I turn over the page, is you can go 2 levels up. You can have 6 inch coherency. So I think you can go up to 2 levels, which is cool. And then you've got the movement phase. Over here, psychic phase. We'll explain what psychic phase does a little bit later on. Resolving the psychic phase. Here we go. Psychic phase. Now, it's very, very different. In previous editions, you had to roll a leadership check in order to cast a power. Now there's something called warp charges. So basically how that works is at the start of the psychic phase, the opposing player, you just roll a dice, and that's how many warp charges you get, and he gets the same as well. But that includes mastery levels, something called mastery levels. Each psyker has a mastery level. So for example, if you had a Space Marine Librarian who is mastery level 2, he gets 2 plus d6. And then you can manifest certain powers which have warp charges. And then if you, say for instance, if you had, if the power was warp charge 2, you would need 4 plus for 2 dice in order to pass it. If you roll a double 6, however, there's something called Perils of the Warp. Now, Perils of the Warp is the result here. Okay, we'll start from the best result to the worst. So, Warp Surge. So basically what that is, a psyker must take a leadership test. If he passes, he gets the following rules, which is ridiculous. If the test is failed, the psyker suffers 1 wound, with no saves of any kind allowed, but you're allowed to feel no pain. Okay, so if the test is passed, the psyker gains a 3+ invulnerable save, as well as Fleshbane, Armorbane, Smash, special rules until the end of the next friendly psychic phase. So that's cool. Then you've got 5. The psyker must take a leadership test. If the test is failed, the psyker suffers 1 wound. Yeah, if you're a vehicle, you suffer a glancing hit. Then you're number 4. Psyker suffers 1 wound, just automatically. And then you've got Power Drain, so you suffer 1 wound if you fail. Actually, beg your pardon, you just suffer a wound and you lose one of your psychic abilities. Pretty cool. I beg your pardon, that's the wrong one. So that Power Drain is you lose D3 warp charges. Okay. And then you've got Mental Purge, that's where you get the lose one of your psychic cards. And then on a roll of 1, if the test is failed, so basically you must pass the leadership test. If you failed, you are removed as a casualty. And the unit suffers a D6 Strength 6 AP 1 hits. So it's pretty crazy if you suffer a Pearls. Could be good, could be really bad. But it's cool. I like Psychic Phase. It gives a lot more diversity to the game. So there you go. And then you've got bonuses and modifiers. So Psychic Pilot, or Brotherhood of Psychers, it's also a special rule. It gets +1 modifier. So to cast, you get a +1. So it's 3, or denying a psychic power, you get +1. Mastery level is higher than the psycho manifesting the power. So for mastery level 1 against 2, the mastery level, if it's the highest, he gets +1 to deny the witch. Adamantium Will as well. You get +1 if your unit has that. Psychic Hoods. Let's have a look here. Each time a unit of one model is targeted by a psychic power is within 12 of a friendly model with psychic hood, the wearer of the hood can attempt to deny the witch in their stead if they're a target. Deny the witch attempt is failed, the psychic resolve is normal, but effects only into the target, not the wearer of the hood. If the model with a psychic hood is embarked in a vehicle or a building, you can use the hood nullify powers targeting the vehicle and building that is embarked within. So that's cool. It gives you little bonuses for a psychic hood. Space Marines would be renowned for having psychic hoods. There. Powers without type. Okay, Blessing. Then you've got different types of psychic powers. So you've got Blessing, Conjuration, Malediction, Witchfire, Beam, Focused Witchfire, Nova. Goes through all the different types of psychic powers, types you can do. Psychic Disciplines. So Grey Knights would be renowned for that. Okay. Okay, Shooting Phase. pretty much the same as in 6th edition. So you just select a target, shoot, easy, exactly the same. Roll to hit, so you got your ballistic skill. I went through that in previous editions, so there you go, gives you ballistic skill 6 to 10. That's superb. Love that change they've done. Snapshots is still the same as in 6th edition. And then you've got to wound chart here, so exactly the same. And then you've got the again, it's the closest model that takes casualties, which is very, very good idea in 6th edition. They've got different AP values for different types of weapons. It's excellent. Fast dice. Going to ground. Okay. Exactly the same. But if you've gone to ground, and the only change I think is if you've gone to ground, you count as initiative 1 for purposes of close combat. And you can't overwatch. Weapons. Easy. Nothing's changed much for weapons. Same principle. Pistol weapons, rapid fire weapons, salvo weapons, like graviton weapons. Now, a lot of people make this mistake. I made this mistake in previous editions, so read this out. Salvo weapons. Salvo weapons are essentially more destructive rapid fire weapons. Okay. Salvo weapons have 2 numbers on their profile listed after their type, separated by a blank blank. A model armed with a salvo weapon can move and fire at a target up to half its maximum range away. In this case, the number of shots is equal to the first number. If the model has not moved, it can instead fire a greater number of shots at a target up to the weapon's maximum range. In this case, the number of shots is equal to the second number. Models that shoot with salvo weapons in the shooting phase cannot charge in the ensuing assault phase. So if you've moved, you fire up to half your range and lower it down, so you fire 2 shots instead of 3. Interesting. It gives you different types of weapons. You've got movement and bonuses, modifiers. It's pretty much the same. Okay, assault phase. Still the same as 6th edition pretty much. Nothing much has changed. Charge move. Again, this book is very, very detailed when it comes to rules development. For the sake of time, I must press forward, and I encourage you to look at old editions, how they've changed. So, fight subphase. It's the same pretty much as 6th edition. To wound chart. Cool, it's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. So having casualties, multiple combats, morale. Pretty much the same again. Just a quick overview. So there you go. Regrouping. That kind of thing. Okay, unit types. There's some slight changes here, if I can quickly identify them. Yeah, fullback move is 3d6. The infantry is the same. Pretty much the same, so you can shoot and move. With heavy weapons, it's snap shooting. If you run, you obviously can't shoot. It's the same. Bikes and jet bikes, turbo boost, move up to 12 and up to 24 if you're turbo boosting. So they are super fast. Movement, yep. They count as relentless, I think, as well. Yep. Get Hammer of Wrath. However, they go through dangerous terrain and charging. All terrain counts as dangerous terrain. Artillery. It's the same as 6th edition. Jump units. Skyborn. When a unit is a jump pack with a moving charge or falling back, as well as discussion of movement, a model can move over all other units. Models, yep, that's fine. Represents their flexibility. Movement can move up to 12 and shoot. Assault phase, yep, when they don't use their jetpack, they get Hammer of Wrath. Fullback moves, 3d6, it's the same. Jetpack units, the same. In the assault phase, they can fall back 2d6 movement, which is cool. Beasts, yep, the beasts have the fleet special rule, fallback moves, 3d6 movement. They get movement of 12. Cavalry, you get Hammer of Wrath as well. Yeah, monstrous creatures. Yep. They get Smash as standard. Hammer of Wrath, move through cover, relentless. Okay. Flying monstrous creatures. Pretty much the same as 6th edition. But now, when you come from swooping to gliding, you can't assault. But the funny thing is, if you fail your grounding test, you can charge. I think. Yeah, it's slightly strange, but no doubt that in 8th edition they'll fix that. Gargantuan and flying gargantuan creatures. Unstoppable. This is cool. Yeah, they've introduced something called gargantuan creatures. It's basically bigger than monstrous creatures. Okay. Unstoppable. Any attack that normally inflicts instant death, or says that the target model is removed from play, says D3 wounds on a gargantuan creature, on a flying gargantuan creature instead. Fair enough. In addition, attacks with sniper special will only cause wounds on a 6, and poisoned as well, on roll of 6. Doesn't say anything about salvo and graviton. So graviton weapons are superb. Okay. Cannot fire Overwatch, yeah, because they're so big and cumbersome. Right. They can fire all their weapons, it looks like, as separate targets. Okay. Vehicles. Pretty much the same as 6th edition, but the damage chart has changed. I'll go through that later. So it's still got the hull point system and armor value system, ballistic skill, relentless. So vehicle counts as relentless. It's interesting. Extra clarification there. Vehicle's line of sight when shooting weapons. Very good. That's how you determine armor, which is front, side, and rear. Vehicle damage table. Right. Okay. They've introduced something called a 7+. So now the result is crew shaken is the result of a 1, 2, or 3. Crew stunned. And roll of 4, weapons destroyed, and roll of 5, mobilised, roll of 6, and a roll of 7+ explodes. So now AP 3 weapons cannot do an explodes result, which is a big shame for Lehman Russ battle tanks, unless the vehicle is open topped, because you get +1. So here they are. So high AP weapons. So your AP2 is +1, and if you've got AP1 weapon, scores to penetrate to the roll damage table. Right, okay. So if you're open topped as well, it's pretty nasty. So yeah, big changes there for the damage table. Forcing a narrative. Okay, so that's basically cover saves, that type of thing. But the same as 6th edition. Okay, fighting the assault. Okay. Transports. Pretty much the same. Yep. Getting out of the vehicle. Telling you how to disembark. Fearless. There you go, gives you your sub rules for fearless. Dedicated transports. Dedicated transports now are a lot better for scoring potentials. Flyers. Just superb. Yeah, locked velocity now. If you suffer a shaken, I beg your pardon, if you suffer a stun result, it's something called locked velocity. So the flyer has to move straight ahead, no turning allowed, unless it's got extra armor, at 18 inches minimum. And if you lock velocity, yeah, you're dead. If you cannot land, yeah, you count as destroyed. So, yeah, Chariots. Yeah, chariots are different now. The character has to stay inside the chariot, and if the chariot gets destroyed, he dies. Or she dies, along with the chariot. Big changes. I remember Luke taking a Necron Overlord on a chariot in 6th edition, but then when he discovered the new rules for chariots, he didn't take it anymore because he didn't want to risk chariot being blown up. Maybe they'll do some improvements there. But other than that, exactly the same for the rules purposes. Open top vehicles. Yeah, open top vehicles, that means you can assault from inside, because it's open topped, that's the advantages there, but the opponent receives +1 on the penetration chart, and they have the no escape special rule, which flamers inflict d6 hits of however the strength of the weapon is, with no armor saves allowed. So that's the major disadvantage of open top vehicles. Fast vehicles. So fast vehicles are swifter than normal. So vehicles move at combat speed proceeding, can fire all of their weapons. So Hellhounds, yep, so they're fast tank, for example. They can fire all their weapons at full BS on movement of 6. Okay, Sentinel. Yep, Walkers, gives you rules for Walkers. Now the mistake again I did was for wieldy and unwieldy weapons. They're not subject to unwieldy. The problem is with this rulebook, in my opinion, there's so many rules that you have to find, like you have to keep flicking through the pages. That's the only thing I'd say about this rulebook. But other than that, it's really, really good. But it makes you learn the rules and where the rules are. So it has its advantages. Maybe it's done purposely for that. So you have to really get things right in this edition. Tanks. So tank shock. Yep. Ramming. Here we go. Super heavy vehicles. So we got the chart here. So there's a different type of explosion. So what we're going to do, yeah, there we go. So basically what happens now is a vehicle, these super heavy vehicles, they ignore the rules for tank results for normal tanks. They suffer hull points instead. So it's just 1 hull point. Ignores crew stun, crew shaken, immobilized, hull points, that type of thing. Except for hull points, but if you roll an explode result, it's D3 hull points. So that's how that works. Thunder Blitz table. This is great fun to use. I used this a couple of times. I ran over a whole load of Necron Scarabs with my Baneblade. It was hilarious. So I just overrun them and they suffered strength 10 AP2 hits. It's just a mess. Brilliant, brilliant move. There. Super heavy walkers. Stomp table, there you go, gives you the rules for stomp. So on the rule, actually we'll go back here, tell you about the Thunder Blitz table. So on the roll of 6, overrun, this is for tank shot result. Overrun, the unit being tank shocked suffers a 2d6 strength 10 AP2 hits, then carried on to the tank shock as normal. Crunch, the unit being tank shocked suffers d6 strength 6 AP4 hits, then carry on with the tank shock as normal, and then on a roll of 1, no effect. Ram result. Flipped. It's like Robot Wars. The vehicle has been rammed, scatters d6 and then suffers an explode result from the vehicle damage table. Smash. The super heavy vehicle adds d6 to the army penetration roll for the ram. Oh, that's nasty. Then carry on with the ram as normal. No effect on the roll of 1. So that's cool. Thunder Blitz table. Really good fun. Superb. Super heavy walkers. Let's look at the chart here for stomp. So they introduce something called stomp. This represents this foot just stomping on men, literally squishing them. So there we go. So non-vehicle target overrun. Each model from this unit being stomped, that is even partially under the blast marker, is removed as a casualty. Oh dear. Crunch. Each model from the unit being hit suffers a strength 6 AP 4 hit, and then on roll on no effect. Flipped, the vehicle on the unit has been stomped, is at least partially under the marker, scatters d6, and then suffers an explode result. Smash. On the vehicle on the unit being stomped, that is at least partially under the blast marker, stomping model suffers a penetrating hit, and then roll of 1 is no effect. It's cool. Yeah, superb. I love using super heavy vehicles. Vehicle upgrades, so it gives you extra armor, smoke launchers. Now smoke launchers grants the units equipped with them a 5+ cover save. Okay, which is cool. I do use smoke launchers quite a lot, which can be very, very good. Dozer blade. Superb. Very good. Character types. Pretty much the same. Lookout, sir. Independent characters. Fighting and a challenge. Pretty much the same. Which is cool. Round 2. I've been through that in the last episode. Battlefield terrain. Here we go. Battlefield terrain. Look at that. Amazing. Battlefield debris. So they've gone even deeper now. I think buildings now have their own rules, which is good, brings diversity to the game. They could forever expand the potential of this game. Games Workshop. Superb. Yep. Building size chart. There you go. Intact buildings looks like. Building damage table. Gives you all the rules there for building damage table. I'll allow you to have a look at that when you've got your own rulebook. Again, I encourage you to look at the charts. Just a quick overview of the rules. Wounds allocation. There we go. Prepare for battle. Choosing an army. There we go. Big changes now. Okay, so you got all these factions here. So you got HQ, troops, elites, fast attack, heavy support, fortifications choice, lords of war, and other. Very, very cool. So like other would represent those that don't have a force organization chart as such as Imperial Knights, those kind of factions. So you can have a choice of one of them. Superb. And they've introduced something called bound and unbound. The difference between bound and unbound is bound is you go by the force organization chart with a certain point limit, whereas unbound there is no force organization chart, but being bound gives you some extra bonuses. For example, one of them, with your warlord trait, you get to re-roll your warlord trait, that kind of thing. And troops are more likely to secure objectives having a bound list. Now, some people don't like playing unbound lists. I understand that. I prefer bound lists personally because I'm like an old school player. But I do go for unbound, technically. Technically speaking, all Apocalypse games are unbound. Technically speaking, if it's like a 3,000 point game, maybe you could get away with it. So, yeah, I think it's good. It brings diversity to the game. But then, having an unbound force gives you disadvantages. So they still put that element in there, which is good. There we go. There you go. You've got core detachments. So you've got combined arms detachment, allied detachment. So they've introduced these different types of detachments. So for example, if your primary detachment was your Ultramarines, and then you wanted to have a contingent of Imperial Guard, you got your allied detachment, and it's still bound because it's still part of the formations, that kind of thing. Formations count as bound. We'll talk about that later. Core attachments. So that's good. Very, very good. Again, bringing more diversity. Here we go. Warlord traits. Now, they've introduced tactical traits. You get tactical objective cards. There's different types of missions now. There's Eternal War and there's Maelstrom. I think these here, these command traits, personal traits and strategic traits are the same, but this section here is brand new for 7th edition. Tactical traits. I'm a big fan of Maelstrom missions. I think they're very good. I do like having a balance of both, so I don't get bored of playing the same missions every time. There you go, got the Allies Matrix nicely laid out for you. There. Preparing for battle. So here are the types of missions. Eternal War, Crusade, Purge the Alien, the Scouring, Big Guns Never Tire, The Emperor's Will, The Relic. These are Eternal War missions. Now, Maelstrom of War mission table. So if you want to play Maelstrom of War, it's Cleanse and Control, Contact Lost, Tactical Escalation, Spoils of War, Cloak and Shadows, Deadlock. There we go. Dawn of War, Hammer and Anvil, Vanguard Strike. Same pretty much as 6th edition, except for the missions. They're slightly different, especially Maelstrom missions. Mysterious Objectives, still the same as in 6th edition. I don't really often play Mysterious Objectives because there's quite a lot to remember, but if you want to use Mysterious Objectives, I have no objection to that. It's quite useful to have a counter next to the objectives so it reminds you what that is. So, okay. These are the different types of cards. Now they came out with a standard Maelstrom card deck, and then as a new codex came out, they would have their own card deck, which is really cool. So here we go. These are different types of tactical objectives. So instead of scoring like 3 points to solve an objective, you get like a certain value of points for holding key objectives, and if you like charged and things like that, you get bonuses. It's pretty cool. The prisoners. So there we go. Eternal War Crusade gives you the rules for Crusade. Purge the Alien. I'll allow you to explore what the rules are. The Scouring, Big Guns Never Tire, The Emperor's Will, and The Relic. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you have to play this mission here for that type of game. That's just an example of a board of what you could do. But you roll on the table, and you roll on the chart as to which map you choose. Okay. Then you've got Cleanse and Control, Contact Lost, give you all the info there. Tactical Escalation, The Spoils of War, Cloak and Shadows, and Deadlock. They're great fun missions, really, really cool. And since like expansion books have come out, there's even more missions, which is amazing. Brilliant move from Games Workshop. Special rules. Now, we've been through most of the special rules in 6th edition. Nothing really much has changed. So, but it gives you all the more detail. So, Blast, Blind, I think that's pretty much the same. Barrage, pretty much the same. Apocalyptic Barrage. Destroyer weapons. There we go. Let's look at the chart. So, vehicle or building. On roll for 1, the model is unharmed. Solid shot. The model suffers a penetrating hit that causes the loss of D3 hull points instead of 1. And roll for 6, devastating hit. The model suffers a penetrating hit that causes it to lose D6 plus 6 hull points instead of 1. No saves of any kind are allowed against this hit. Lucky escape. The model is unharmed. This is a non-vehicle. Seriously wounded. It's the same. D3 wounds instead of 1. Wounds automatically. Model suffers a hit that wounds automatically and causes it to lose D6 plus 6 wounds instead of 1. No save of any kind allowed against this type of hit. And it counts as strength 10 for the purposes of instant death as well. Yep, fearless, the same. Feel no pain is the same. Oh, here we go. When a model of this special rule suffers an unsaved wound, it can make a special feel no pain roll to avoid being wounded. This is not a saving throw, so can be used against attacks that state that no saves of any kind are allowed. For example, those who inflict perils of the warp. So you do get your feel no pain. Okay. Other than that, pretty much the same. Again, feel no pain is adjustable, so some feel no pain saves are better. Fleshbane Fleet. Fleet allows you to roll. Can reroll one or more dice when determining run moves and charge ranges. Okay. Fleshbane. Pretty much the same wounds, 2+ regardless. Furious Charge, the same as 6th edition. Graviton. Yeah, Graviton weapons. Let's go through this. Say, for instance, you had a Graviton weapon that was going to fire at a unit of Space Marines, which has a 3+ armor save. You roll to hit as normal, you're using your ballistic skill, and then to wound, you use the opponent's armor save to wound. So, if a Space Marine, for example, has got a 3+ armor save, you need a 3+ to wound. And what's worse for the Space Marine is that Graviton weapons, especially, are AP2. Yeah, pretty nasty. Hammer of Wrath, Hatred, Haywire, it's the same. Hit and run, ignores cover, instant death. The independent characters gives you all the rules for independent characters. Infiltrate, outflank, interceptor. People will not die. Now, big change there. Jink, as I went through the 6th edition. Opponent. Now, before you shoot, you say to your opponent, "Are you going to jink?" The opponent makes the decision right then, rather than receiving the hit, receiving the penetration hit, and then you do the jink save. Big change. Lance, the same. Mastercrafted, the same. Yep, pretty much the same. Eltar. Monster Hunter, yeah, same. Outflank, pinning, poisoned. Yep. Third enemy, yeah, rerolls to 1s, to hit and to wound. Psychic, pilot, rampage, relentless. Scout. Pretty much the same. Soul Blaze. Strike down. Torrent. Yep. Torrent is basically a 12 inches, and then you put your template right at the front. The end, which is very good. Twin linked. Two-handed. Vector Dancer. Vector Strike. Vector Strike's different now. Vector Strike. When swooping or moving, the savages prey at the end of the movement phase. Nominate one enemy model is not locked in combat. The model has moved over that turn. The unit takes 1 hit if the model is an enemy flyer in zooming mode. The enemy swooping flyer monstrous creatures instead takes D3 hits. Unless stated otherwise, Vector Strike hits are resolved at the equals strength at AP2 using a random allocation. These hits have the ignores cover special rule. These hits do not benefit from any other of the model's special rules such as Furious Charge, Poison, Rending, and against vehicles that are resolved against the target's side armor. Okay. Vortex. That's cool. Interesting new rule there. Take a bit of time to read. Allow you to have a look at that to your viewing pleasure. Ranged weapons. Pretty much the same, but no pinning. Snipers don't have pinning. Big shame. I wish they brought that back. Maybe they'll do that in the next edition. Things to look forward to. Then you got AP values for weapons in close combat. Superb move. It's really brilliant. Grenades of the 41st Millennium gives you the rules for grenades. Usual grenades. That kind of thing. Terrain data sheets. So it gives you all the rules for 40k buildings. Incredible. There you go. Extra little rules. Battlescape. Crushed Imperial Aquila Lander. Twisted Corpse. Escape. And then you've got the different psychic powers. So as I went through, for example, tells you what the warp charge is. So you need to roll a single 4+ in order to activate, unless special rules apply. Some powers are more harder to activate, so you've got hemorrhage, which is warp charge 2, endurance warp charge 2, that type of thing. Some warp charges, I think the highest is warp charge 5, which is one of the powers that Magnus the Red knows, but Magnus the Red casts on 2+. Yeah, and he never suffers the perils as well. Full of cheese. Demonology. Psychic powers. Pyromancy. Telekinesis. Telepathy. A reference. Rules reference for all the vehicles, infantry, unit types. All nicely laid out. Very, very nicely laid out. There you go. Building damage table chart. Types of missions, index, and there you go. That there is 7th edition. I'm going to come back now and show you what it looks like all put together. So there you have it. That is the Warhammer 40k rulebook review, fully completed. And what do I think of this rulebook? This at the moment is my favourite edition. They really have done their homework with the improvements from 6th edition. But there is a little chink with this rulebook. The formations can be a little complicated, like sorting it all out and make sure it's legal, because you obviously don't want to cheat. Everybody tries to avoid that. But the introduction of new units can be a bit overpowering, a bit OP. So it's not really fair for like old factions such as Imperial Guard. They can be incredibly weak competitively against new types of units. So for example, Imperial Guard, I would not take them to a tournament game really. I know people say, "Oh no, you know what are you going to do? You know, you can. You show you the chart. That's fine." But for me personally, I don't think they're that competitive. So the problem with this rulebook is that the rules are so deep. It's very easily that units can be overpowering, especially for guardsmen players. They suffer a lot for this. So what the rumour has for 8th edition is they're trying to rebalance the whole thing, the whole structure of bringing old units competitively back, which is a superb move. I think they couldn't really help this when this rulebook was released, because this is early days, brand new rulebook, and then as the rules progress, it seems to be that the certain new types of units will be overpowering. But that's just a side thought. But the rules also can be a bit difficult to find, as in like, oh, you have to search for this, you have to check everything. But that's the whole point of the learning curve for knowing the rules of this game. And other than that, my favourite edition. It is a superb edition. It has been a joy playing this edition, and I look forward to 8th edition. I know there's going to be some radical changes, but I'm looking forward to those changes. And so far, I've looked at every article of the new editions, like new rules changes and things like that. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to do a book review about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to hopefully do 8th edition battle reports on the channel. Now, you'll be the first to know that I'll be doing my very first battle report. We're planning to do a battle report with 8th edition. I'm going to be playing against my brother. That's right, Striking Scorpion 82. He has been challenged, and this time I will be filming. I'm planning to get new filming equipment, new camera, and it is work in progress at the moment on how I'll sort out battle reports for your viewing pleasure. And there's more content for Striking Scorpion 82, and as well as on this channel as well. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Rulebook review series. Thank you to all those who have watched every single episode, especially. Thank you to all those who have commented. Let us know in your comments below what you think about 7th edition. Is it your favourite edition? From my perspective, it is definitely my favourite edition to look at. Tell us what the strengths and weaknesses were of this edition. I'd love to know in the comments below. So there you go. Remember, if you like this video and like what I produce on the channel, remember to hit that like and subscribe, follow and share. Really appreciate you people viewing my content, and for all those that come for the first time. So there you go. Thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good day, and I hope to see you in the next book review.